Hello, my name is Eric Loegel. I am a New York City Transit train operator and shop steward for TW Local 100. As many of you may know, there is a special election happening right now for Executive Board in the Conductor Towers Division. The Executive Board of Local 100 is an extremely important component of our local union. It sort of functions as the Congress of our union. The Executive Board convenes once a month and deliberates and votes on things such as contract proposals, demands, our legislative agenda, and is also the place to hear charges against elected officers. The Executive Board is also a political position, more so than divisional office, for example, Vice Chair. And as such, the Executive Board requires someone with a well-developed and articulated political perspective. Since we are all working class members of a labor organization, that perspective should be based around the struggle that we all find ourselves in. And that's the class struggle. The struggle between workers, such as ourselves, and the bosses, the employers, the owners. This is a struggle that incorporates the fight against racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia. I believe the only candidate who has that perspective is Conductor John Ferretti. And with that said, because of the information overload, the conflicting viewpoints, some of us may choose to ignore politics, but politics is not ignoring us. One of the best examples of that is Tier 6 pension reform. Tier 6 is a Wall Street-sponsored assault on our retirements, carried out by those corporate servants in Albany. Now, after our union rolled over for this in 2012, their only strategy now is to beg those same politicians to just go easy on us and fix Tier 6. John and I both say, you only bother fixing something that's good, something that's worth saving. We say that Tier 6 is an injustice and must be eliminated. Now, how do we go about doing that? Well, begging politicians in Albany is not the solution. What we need to do as workers is we need to unite in solidarity with the struggles of other workers, because transit workers aren't the only ones affected by Tier 6. Okay, Tier 6 impacts virtually all municipal workers. And furthermore, we need to build support amongst the general public for our struggle. And one of the best ways that we can go about doing that is showing the public, is showing other layers of the working class that we're on your side, that we're with you. Unfortunately, our union has missed countless opportunities over the years to do just that. Whether it was strike actions that were proposed or actually took place, for example, with the Long Island Railroad or the Verizon workers, to the fare increases that that were announced in November, the day after our contract rally. A slap in the face, another attack on working class riders, and TW was silent on it. Historically, our union opposed fare increases. This is a great way, by opposing fare increases, to show the riding public that we're not the bad guys, that we're with you. Okay, the enemy is the MTA and their corporate greed, not the people who operate your trains and buses. John, myself, and others called for the union to come out publicly against fare increases. The union did not. This was a huge missed opportunity. Another example would be Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was an explosive time, explosive movement in our society against racist police brutality. John participated directly in Black Lives Matter, in the protests, and as such called upon the union to do likewise, to mobilize against police brutality. John raised motions in divisional meetings and argued this point many times, and the union refused to act. Another example, the election of President Donald Trump, perhaps the most anti-labor president of our lifetime. Unions have been on the decline for decades and are still in the crosshairs, and never more so than under the Trump administration. John has called, again, for Local 100 to play a leading role in this fight back against Trump. John and myself and other supporters of Revolutionary Transit Worker were in Washington for the inauguration. We're in Washington for the Women's March. Unfortunately, there was no official Local 100 contingent there. That was a missed opportunity. Right now, healthcare is being debated in Washington, gutting healthcare, okay? Something that would affect millions of people. And the union, again, being a self-defense organization for workers, really for the whole working class, the most potentially powerful union in New York City, needs to be at the forefront of this. And John has called upon Local 100, is putting pressure on this union right now to play a leading role in that fight. So far, the response from the union has been deafening silence. The only way that we as transit workers, that we as workers as a whole are going to win is if we mobilize, is if we join forces with other workers, with other people who are affected by government policies like this, and build support, okay, with the public as a whole. And John recognizes that. John is the only person running for the executive board that understands how crucial this is. We can't afford more of the same. We can't afford someone who thinks that we can just play nice with politicians from both parties, okay? We need someone who articulates our needs, okay, and understands the sort of struggle that we're in and the things we need to do to succeed. And I'm not pretending that one person is enough to change everything, to solve all of our problems. But a vote for John Ferretti, putting John Ferretti on the executive board would be a huge step in the right direction. And perhaps the spark that we need to ignite a larger movement to defend our livelihoods, to defend our class from the attacks that we're facing and that we will continue to face under the status quo. So ballots mail out June 14th. Ballots are counted July 7th. When you receive your ballot as a fellow TWU RTO member, as one of your shop stewards, as someone who is committed to rebuilding this union and to seeing us reverse our fortunes, I personally encourage you, when you get your ballot, to vote John Ferretti for executive board. Thank you.